Good morning, Dallas. Good evening, India. Good evening, Kerala State of India, and good evening, Cochin. So, welcome to the Friday Talk Show with your host Rajiv Kulkarni to the Global Electronics Talk Show. Global Electronics Talk Show is nothing but we talk about the electronics manufacturing activities, the challenges, the trend, and also the technology. So this is a platform which is totally based for the share of knowledge, the wealth of knowledge that we all possess in this period of our life, and we learn every day. I'm talking about mainly on the electronics manufacturing side because we learn on various things, but this particular channel is focused on the electronics manufacturing activities. Today's topic is very interesting topic. Any electronics manufacturing you take, so this has to be done, and why it is done, and what it is. To talk about all that, we have a special guest today with us, and this particular gentleman was also with us before. But before we go to him, let's watch this quick video about the company, and then we will take it further. Welcome back to the show after this beautiful video of SFO technologies that we saw just now. And as you know that SFO technologies is based in the southern part of India, which is Kerala. And today we have the technology leader of SFO technologies, Mr. Anil Raj with us. Welcome to the show, Mr. Anil Raj. Good evening to you. How are you this evening?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for this. So, good
Absolutely.
morning and good evening to all. I am Anil Raj, heading Process and Equipment Engineering Division at SFO Technology. As is mentioned, SFO Technology, a flagship company of Nest Group, a company based in the southern region of India, incorporated in 1990, provides total OEM plus solution to diverse industries such as aerospace, defense, communications, energy and industrial, healthcare and transportation. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on the topic of FMEA, that is failure mode and effect analysis.
Absolutely true. And first of all,
Before going to this, wish you a happy new year to all.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. That wishing everyone, all the audience, as well as the supporters and everyone out there in the industry, wishing you all a very, very happy New Year 2025. And we all wish that we all continue to prosper and be successful in whatever we do. So Anil Raj, as he mentioned that he works with SFO Technologies in the southern part of India, and today we are going to talk about a very very important topic, which is FMEA. So what is FMEA, and how it is important for electronics manufacturing? Those are some interesting points that we are going to discuss. And FMEA, as we all know, it's failure mode and effects analysis. So unless and until we go into the root cause of the failure of anything that we are doing in the electronics manufacturing, so it's very difficult to have a very smooth flow of production and also the process that we try to carry. So let's start our talk today, Anil sir, and so let's of course you gave your introduction already, and let's get into the topic. What exactly is FMEA and why it is so important?
Okay, yeah. So nowadays, industry is challenged by increasing quality demands of the customer, the necessary cost optimization of the product and the process, and complexity, as well as the product reliability of the designer and the manufacturer required by legislation. Hence, this FMEA method is used to address the technical aspect of the risk reduction, basically. So before going in detail to the FMEA, I will explain three main terms used in the FMEA, which are failure and failure mode and effects of the failure. So what do you mean by failure? Failure refers to any situation where a system or the process or product does not perform as expected or does not meet its intended function or the specification. That is a failure. Then what is failure mode? Failure mode refers to the specific way or mechanism by which a process, part, or a system could fail. So, in other words, it is a what that goes wrong in a system or the process. So, if then we have discussed the failure and failure mode. Then what is effects of the failure? The effects of the failure is basically the consequences or impacts of the failure mode. It is the result of the failure. So the failure effects could be anything from poor product quality to safety hazards. So this FMEA is a structured way to identify, address the potential problems or the failures and their resulting effects on the system or process before an adverse event occurs. That is basically an FMEA. So it's a team oriented and systematic and a qualitative analytical method that is intended for evaluate the potential technical risk of failure of a product or process, analyze the cause and effect of those failures, document preventive and detection actions, then recommended action to reduce the risk. These are the importance of basically the FMEA.
Okay. So, with all such important factors that you mentioned about FMEA, when exactly it has to be performed?
Right. So there are multiple cases for which the FMEA need to be applied, and this need to be sometimes once it is applied, this need to be revised also. Right. So the FMEA should be performed during several key stages in the product development or the process life cycle. So some of them are like in the early design stages. That's a design process, early design process. Then FME is often done during the design phase before the product is finalized or prototype. That's a design FMEA.
Okay.
This helps identify the potential failure mode in the design and allows corrective action to take early before the costly production or the operation errors occurs. Before any errors occurs, we can identify the risk of failure and we can take some corrective action on this. That's related to the design. Then coming to the process case. So the FMEA to be conducted to analyze the manufacturing or operational processes and identify the potential failure in those processes that could lead to a defective product or process inefficiencies. That is in the process FMEA. Then, when the product is designed or the process is established, when making a change, if you making a change to the product or the process, then there is a significant design modification or process change or new technology integrations, then FMEA should be done to assess how these changes might affect the performance of the reliability of the particular system. In that case, also FMEA need to be revisited or revised. Then risk management or the compliance audit, like regulatory standards like 13485 or AS 9100, IATF 16949. Then FME is done periodically to ensure that potential risks are managed and mitigated in line with this regulatory industry regulations, these regulations. Then FMEA can be reviewed even after a product, once the product has been changed or the process is running. Then if there is any variations in the quality or the process performance, in that case, there may be a recurring of the failure. In that case also, the FMEA need to be revisited or revised. This can help identify new failure mode that were not anticipated during the earlier phases.
Okay.
So FMEA can be considered as a process improvement tool. Why? Because FMEA used to continuously monitor and improving the existing process and the quality system. So this can be considered as a process improvement tool. So that is, these are the various areas the FMEA need to be done, and or some cases if it done it and that need to be revised.
Okay, excellent response on that, Mr. Anil. And as we all know that Mr. Anil works with the SFO technologies in Kerala, that is situated on southern part of India, and Global
Right.
Electronics is a
Mhm.
platform that we bring in the special people like Mr. Anil and industry experts to talk about electronics manufacturing and the challenges faced, the trend, as well as the processes engaged in the electronics manufacturing. So today we are talking about FMEA, which is extremely important in any process that electronics manufacturer is engaged. So please do watch the show and please do engage yourself and learn from our talk show, because we have these industry experts like Mr. Anil and who can share their knowledge, and Global Electronics is a knowledge sharing platform. And please do comment on the comment section of the YouTube link that we have given, and also share the link and request the subscription. The more the subscribers, the more the viewers, and which is also very encouraging for our guest as well as for us. Anyway, let's continue our discussion here. So, what are the main types of FMEA, Anil?
Okay, as I said earlier, there are two main approaches for the FMEA. One is the analysis according to the product function, that is called design FMEA. And another one is according to the process steps, that is called the process FMEA. So a design FMEA is a analytical technique. Basically, it's an analytical technique utilized primarily by a design responsible engineer or a team as a means to assure that, to the extent possible, potential failure mode and their associated cause or mechanism of failure have been considered or addressed prior to the releasing of the part to the production. That is the concept of design FMEA. So once the design FMEA is done, then coming to the process FMEA. Process FMEA analyze the potential failure of manufacturing, assembly, and logistical process to the product.
Okay.
So the process FMEA and process analysis, the process FMEA analyze the process by considering the potential failure mode, which may result from process variation, to establish priority of the action for prevention and as improve controls. So the overall purpose is to analyze the process and to take action prior to the production start to avoid unwanted defects related to the manufacturing and assembly and the consequences of this particular defects. So these are the two main aspects of FMEA. One is I can say that design FMEA, and other one is a process FMEA.
FMEA. So basically, the design FMEA is also something to do with the DFM, right?
Exactly right. Exactly right. So one of the main corrective actions. So if you go into the different steps of the FMEA, one of the main aspects is the process control. So
Mm-hmm.
the process control in the design is mainly this DFM. So if once the design is freeze, if there is any issue related to the manufacturing process can be easily detected during this DFM analysis. Yes, that is one of the main tool. Yes.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So, what are the different steps in FMEA preparation?
Yes, so that different steps in the sense, um, like there are seven main steps. I can say this
Okay.
seven main steps that is specified in AAG manual. So AAG manual means it is a automotive industry action group, and Verban their automobile industries VDA. So they develop a document that is mainly for the FMEA. So in that there are seven main steps for the execution of the FMEA. So the first one is the planning and preparation. That's a first process step. So the purpose of that particular step is to describe what product or process are to be included or excluded for the review in the FMEA project.
Okay.
There's a purpose of that planning and preparation. So the process take into the account that all the process within the facility can be analyzed or reanalyzed using the FMEA. Then the process allows an organization to review all process at a high level and to make a final determination from which the process will be analyzed. So the overall advantage of this particular preparation is to focus resources on process with highest priorities.
Okay.
That is a main advantage of this planning and preparation. Then coming to the second one, that is structure analysis. That's the second process of the FMEA. That is, its purpose is to identify, break down the manufacturing system into process items, process steps, or process work elements. We call it as process flows. So different process in that particular manufacturing system. That is the structure analysis. Then after this, there is another step is third step is function analysis. In function analysis, ensure that the intended function or requirement of the product or process are properly allocated. Function. So if what is function means the function which describes what the process item or process step is intended to do. That is actually a function. So there may be more than one function for each process item or process step. That is if you take the process flow. There may be for each steps you can see multiple process functions.
Okay.
So that is the function analysis. Once the function analysis is done, the next one is a failure analysis. Failure analysis identify the failure cause and the mode, the failure modes and its effects, failure effects, and show the relationship to enable the risk assessment. This will be done in the failure analysis. Then there is a risk analysis. The purpose of the risk analysis is to estimate the risk by evaluating severity, severity of the failure, then the occurrence, then the detection, in order to prioritize the need for actions. That will be done in the risk analysis. So that the main objective of the risk analysis will be assignment of the prevention control of the failure causes. Then some cases it will be detection controls and the rating of severity. That's one of the critical point, and the occurrence and detection of each failure chain. So this will be done in normally in the risk analysis. Then once the risk analysis is done, then coming to that, next is the optimization.
Okay.
That is called process optimization, which determine the action to mitigate the risk and assess the effectiveness of those actions which we have done it. So the end result is a process which minimize the risk of producing or delivering the product that do not meet the customer or stakeholders expectations. So that will be the optimization. So once everything is done, the final step is the documentation, result documentation. So where it will summarize and communicate the result of the failure mode and analysis activity. It will do that. Then documentation, which will include the effectiveness of the implemented action or assessment of the risk. Again, the assessment of the risk after the corrective action has been taken. So everything will be documented in a proper way. That is in the done in the result documentation. So I can show one a typical
Slide.
example of
Yeah.
this particular different steps
Sure.
that need to be followed for the FME. I can show that. We'll share my screen now so
Yes,
that.
please. Yeah. It shows Zoom.
Okay, one second, one second. Hope this can be seen here. Yeah,
Yes.
these are the different steps that need to be followed for the FMEA preparation, like structure analysis, function analysis, the failure analysis, then yeah, risk analysis, optimization, and finally uh, documentation activities. These are the format that need to be followed when somebody is planning for making an FMEA.
So basically, this is the format you normally follow within your, manufacturing process.
Yes, so there may be a small variation. So company to company, there may be some variations in the format, but the main functions that is written on this particular format need to be there in the FMEA format. They can do some variations with respect to. So that's why I said that in the AAG manual there are so many formats is mentioned. So depends on the organization requirement, they can select the suitable one for that.
Right, 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 right. Excellent, excellent. That's a very good presentation. So now, since you explained the different steps involved or engaged in the FMEA preparation, what do you actually mean by the characteristics in FMEA?
Okay, yeah. So actually there is an important term which is used in FMEA. That is, a characteristics is a distinguishing features of a product. Example, the diameter of one particular item or the surface finishes. So it's a characteristic of that particular product. So
Okay.
it's a quantifiable attribute, actually, you can easily say. So for FMEA, the requirements are described in terms of product characteristics or process characteristics. So there are two main aspects. There is one is product characteristics and another one is process characteristics. So before going into this, I can say that the negative of this particular is actually the failure mode. If you are not meeting that particular requirement, care process characteristics, that is a failure mode. Right. So a product characteristics is related to the performance of a process function and can be judged or measured. That is a product characteristics. And the product characteristics is shown on a product drawing or the specification document, like as I mentioned earlier, the geometry or the material or the surface finishes or coating, etc. These are the product characteristics. So, coming to the process characteristics, it is a process control that ensures that the product characteristics is achieved by the process. So the product characteristics is achieved by the process characteristics. It may be shown on manufacturing drawing or specification. And here, the process characteristics can be measured by the product is being made, like different torque or process press force or torque, everything. That is called a process characteristic. So these are the two main aspects, the product characteristics or process characteristics, which is comes under the characteristics term in the FME.
Oh, wonderful. Very, very great inputs on that, Mr. Anil. So I have the next question is how are severity, occurrence, and detection rated in FMEA?
Okay, so that is the main important point that need to be discussed in the yeah, when we do the FMEA. That is, one is the severity, and second is occurrence. The third one is the detection. These are the three main important points in FMEA. So, what is severity? Severity means, as I said, the failure mode. Earlier, I said the failure mode. But here, the severity means how serious the failure would be if it occurs.
Hmm.
That is severity. Occurrence means frequency with which the given cause occurs and create a failure mode.
Hmm.
That is the occurrence. So then detection means the ability of the current control scheme to dictate a given course. That is detection. So these are the three main aspects of main critical aspects of FA. So I will share one presentation where it is properly mentioned how we need to rate this severity, occurrence, and detection. So
Please,
I will
please.
share one more slide so that
Sure.
it will give a better idea how we can do this.
Yes, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, till he comes on the screen sharing his slide. So, I want to thank you all for watching this, and please do continue to watch every Friday this show. That way, we try to share knowledge as much as possible in the electronics manufacturing and try to share the link so people can subscribe to the channel and there are more viewers and so more subscribers means more viewers. Okay, let's he's come back and let's see the presentation on the FMEA severity ranking. Okay, sir, please
Oh,
go ahead.
this is mainly for the severity ranking. So if you take there are if you can we can rank from 1 to 10. So
Okay.
if the severity is more, that means if the failure is meet the safety or the regulatory requirements, the failure, then we need to rank it either 9 or 10. So how we can rank it 9 or 10? That means if without warning it may endanger the operator or the machine without warning, then it will be 10. If it endanger the operator with warning, then it is 9. That means 9 and 10 is mainly for if it affects the safety and the regulatory requirements.
Okay.
Then the 7 and 8, if there is a loss or degradation on the primary function, then we can rate to 7 or 8. That is, if it is a major disruption, then we can rate to 8. If it is a significant, then it can be 7. Then, if it is a loss or degradation of the secondary function, then it will be 5 or 6. Similarly, if it is an annoyance, then it will be 2, 3, 4. Like if it is a minor disruption to on a moderate one, this will be 3 or 4. And if there is no effect, we can rank to 1. So that means 1 is less severe and the 10 is high severe. Why? Because it meet the safety and regulatory, failure to meet the safety and regulatory requirements is 9 and 10. Then coming to the next point,
The occurrence.
next is occurrence, right? Hope you can see the occurrence ranking, right?
Yes, yes, we can see the
Yes,
screen.
the occurrence ranking also from 1 to 10. That again, there are different methods to rank the occurrence. One is if based on the defects per shift or based on the PPM or based in quantity. So there are different methods. In short, I can say that if the occurrence, that means if the process control in the line is excellent, then the defects, the cost of failure will be very less. In that case, it will be 1. If the current control, the prevention control is very less or very poor, then the occurrence will be more. In that case, the rating will be 10. That's why if the PPM level is very high, the ranking is 10. And if the PPM level is very less, the ranking will be rank is 1. These tables, that is severity table and the occurrence table, and the next one is a detection one. Detection one is also, these are the different tables which is specified properly in the AIAG manual. So where anybody can refer that manual for making a proper FMEA. Here also, again, if the current detection system is good, then the ranking is 1. If the current detection system is 10, then it will be, is poor, then it will be 10. So similarly, we can rank the severity, occurrence, and the detection, and we can identify the risk in the particular process.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So, now my next question would be, what is the importance of AP number in FMEA?
Right. Yeah. The AP number means that's an action priority number. So earlier it was RPN, that is a risk priority number. But
Okay,
the risk priority number doesn't have a importance now. So now the main point that need to be taken some action is action priority. That is a KP number.
okay.
So once the team has completed the initial identification of failure mode and effects, uh, then the cause controls, including the rating of severity, occurrence, and detection, they must decide if further efforts are needed to reduce the risk.
Hmm.
Due to the inherent limitation of resources, time, technology, and other factors, they must choose low to be prioritized these efforts sometimes. That is a normal practice.
Yeah.
So Because of that, the action priority number, that is AP method, is introduced into this account. For all, if you take into this, there will be 100 possible combination of severity, occurrence, and detection. So I will show one table. In that, you can see that there will be 100 possible combination of severity, occurrence, and detection. It
Sure.
was created to give more emphasis on severity first, then occurrence, and then detection. The logic follow the failure prevention intention in FMEA. That's a logic in this. So any companies can use their own system to evaluate the action priority instead of multiple systems. But in the AAG manual, I will show that there's a beautiful table which describes where we need to take the action based on this rating of severity, occurrence, and detection. So I will show that first, then we will discuss in detail
Please,
on that.
please do, please.
Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can. Action priority table. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the action priority table where if you can see that the left side you can see that there is an effect, then there is a severity rating, so which we have discussed earlier. The prediction of failure cause occurring, that's the second one. Then the occurrence rating, then ability to detect,
Yeah.
that is then based on this the detection. So coming to next is action priority. So if you look into this, if the severity rating is very high or the occurrence is very high, then the action priority is high. This is the main aspects where we need to take the actions or fine tune our process or fine tune the detection mechanism to reduce or mitigate the defects. So if you look into this, for 9 and 10 severity, 7 and 8, 4 and 6, 2 and 3, and 1, there's a beautiful methodology. This is a beautiful methodology to reduce the effect of failure or the possible root cause of that particular failure from the system. So we need to take the actions for all the high priority action priority numbers. We need to take action and we need to mitigate the risk failure. So earlier there was a RPN number, that is the product of severity, occurrence, and detection. And again, it is also range from 1 to 1000. But the RPN distribution can provide some information about the range rating. But RPN does not an adequate method to determine the need for more action, since RPN gives equal weight to severity, occurrence, and detection. Hence, nowadays it is not a recommended practice. The recommended practice now for making a beautiful FMEA to reduce the failure in the system is action priority number. That's the AP method.
Excellent. Excellent. So, Mr. Anil, very beautiful presentation and very beautiful explanation of FMEA. And anything else you would like to add on the points that we discussed as we are almost coming to the end of the show? Or you want to give any message to the professionals, the process engineers, the people out there? I know that we are going to have one more session with you also on the SPC, and that was in the future. And of course, yeah, please, your message, your comment, anything else you would like to share.
So, yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, that the FME is a good process improvement tool. If you do the systematic way of making an FMEA will give definitely will give a better result, and that will reduce the risk of failure in the systems like we have implemented. Like, so the basic concept is we need to identify the process function and different aspects of the process. Then one system has, as I mentioned earlier, that one system has multiple process functions. For each process function, there will be a multiple root causes. So where we need to do the 5-way analysis or the 7QC tool, we need to apply it to identify the exact root cause. Then only we can ensure that the FMEA will give the best results. So need spend more time on this particular process, identify the exact root cause, take action to reduce the failure. Definitely, that will improve the quality and finally reduce the cost of the products or unwanted waste. Everything will be done with this particular FMEA because this is a good process improvement live tool. I can say that the FMEA is a live tool.
Yes.
It's once it is done, it that need to be revised when we see some failure in the line or some improvement action need to be done. Use this FMEA and test the exact result from this. That's
So,
all.
so we can also say that the FMEA is a part of the SPC, in a manufacturing process, right?
It
So,
can be
yeah,
right.
right. Excellent, Mr. Anil, and I thank you really very much because I know that you hold a very important position in your organization and you are busy individual and you are taking time to share your knowledge of electronics manufacturing to our audience, and I'm pretty sure the audience are definitely liking our channel as we see an increase in the growth of the subscription, and also we continue to request you to do subscribe, do share our global electronics channel with your other colleagues and also the industry experts. With that said, Mr. Anil, thank you again once again, and we will meet again in one of the future talk show about the SPC topic with you for sure. And thank you and your colleagues and your organization. We wish you all the best in 2025, and we wish you all the best to all the audience too. With that said, your host, your friend Rajiv Kulkarni will sign off for this episode, and we will see you next Friday at the same time with another topic. Stay tuned with us always. Thank you very much and stay safe and be healthy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
all.